Hi guys, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse escape and stay free. Today I want to talk about no contact. No contact seems to be something that is very, very difficult for survivors to absolutely execute. Now, why is that? You know that this person is truly destroying your life. They are abusing you. They are lying to you. They are cheating on you. They are building an agenda of torture and torment behind your back. They are in no way moving through a fluid and natural relationship as you had initially believed this was. There is nothing good about them. We've seen the behavior looping and looping and looping. Through our research, we understand they are never getting better. They get worse with therapy. They get worse with age. It's an absolute dead end road. So why do we find it so hard just to cut them off? Now, through our research and through this collective of victims and survivors, we've absolutely come to understand that the person we initially fell in love with doesn't exist. The relationship's been a fraud. Any indication they ever gave us that there was going to be a future with them was really future faking and part of a gaslighting and hoovering sort of process. None of it's real. None of it's real. They're horrible people. They've hurt us deeply, yet we find it difficult to just cut them off. Now, in some cases, I can see if you're tangled up in courts right now, if you're involved with the justice system, you know, you're still going to have to interact with them to some degree. And of course, you have to do that, right? Because you have that, you know, obligation and you don't want to get yourself in any trouble. So you need to abide by the law in that way. But outside of the justice system, why would we ever continue to allow such a destructive and damaging force in our lives? Now, a couple of reasons why I know for myself it was very hard to just, you know, cut that off is, first of all, I loved my narc. I knew my narc was sick. He actually had a diagnosable illness. So I guess I felt like it was the right thing to do, stand by a sick partner. Now, if you've been involved with NARC for a while, you also know that to leave them is going to result in a smear campaign from hell. And I could see why someone would want to avoid that type of treatment from their partner, especially when you're already, you know, being dumped, you're being discarded, and you're hurt, and you're sad, and you're confused. And now they're on this horrendous smear campaign, and what they're telling people about you is the exact and very things that they themselves are doing to you. I think another reason why we don't cut them off sooner and go no contact is because we have so many unanswered questions, so many open wounds, that somehow we believe since they're the ones that inflicted the wounds, since they're the ones that caused the confusion, they are the ones that hold the answer. In many ways, so much hurt has been inflicted on us that I think we keep that line of communication open, thinking they're going to apologize, show some empathy, show some remorse, you know, something. But, you know, guys, never. It's not coming, not in years. And if you do get an apology, it's more hoovering. It's another hook trying to bait you and draw you back in. An apology would never be real anyways, if you're ever even going to get one. So I think we go back looking for some sort of compensation for all the grief and pain we've experienced. We have to really accept the fact that a sincere and heartfelt apology is never coming. There is never going to be any real closure. You are never getting the empathy that you have deserved. You are never getting any recognition. The fact that they're sick and we know they're not getting better, I mean, that's an eye-opener in itself. So it just seems like we're perpetuating a horrible situation when we know exactly what it is. We truly, in our logical minds, know that to continue along with an open line of communication is only going to result in more abuse, more name calling. You're never going to hear the words you want to hear. yet we do it. Now, if you don't cut off communication today, and I mean today, if this is not the day that you decide to go no contact, I assure you, the day is down the road. The only thing that's going to happen between today and the day you finally cut them off is going to be more shit and abuse. Absolutely, more shit and abuse, more hurt, more harm, more confusion, more tears, more sleepless nights, more anxiety, more panic attacks, and more stress. You've already got enough of that. I had enough of that. So you've got to absolutely be a good friend to yourself, and you have to put your foot down, and you have to go no contact. That's what I did, and I'm telling you, it is the best thing I've ever done. So what does no contact really look like, and what steps do you have to take to achieve a level of no contact? Now, if you're still stuck in your narc's house of pain and you're living with your narc, no contact can be very difficult. But what you can do is you can absolutely stop telling them how you feel. That is none of their fucking business. Besides, chances are you feel bad. And if you tell them you feel bad, it's just giving them a buzz, right? So, I mean, why are we giving that to them at the cost of our own emotions and sanity? Do not ever say I love you. Do not ever mention one bloody word about your exit strategy, and if you do find yourself forced to say something about the strategy, lie. Do not tell them the truth. And if you are still with the narc, you've got to get locked on to an exit strategy, one focus. You got to get out of there. Now, while you're still there, of course, you've got to start putting some boundaries in place. If the narc wants to engage, disengage, go watch TV, read a book, just start backing the hell out of this disaster. You've got to start boundaries in place and disengage while you're still there working on your exit strategy. And I know, because they cause such destruction in a person's life, it's very difficult sometimes to just pick up and leave, especially if they've been stealing money from you and doing other things like this. I do have other videos about building an exit strategy and how to get out, so please take a look at those as well. If you are free, as many of us are, no contact. This still can be a difficult thing. I don't know what it is exactly we're hoping to get from contact, but trust me, it's never coming. Now, what does no contact look like? How do you achieve no contact? First of all, block them on your phone. Do not accept any more text messages. Do not accept any more calls. When you start getting calls that say unknown number or no caller ID, as I get regularly, do not answer those calls. Now, my narc leaves messages on my phone, so I'll quite often leave my message bank full. And when I do have messages from him, the second I hear his voice, I hit 7, delete, goodbye. Don't want to hear the message. So that's one way I keep myself free from his voice, his poison, his toxin, from all that crud getting up on me, okay? Now, another thing that I do is I would never let my narc in my house. Now, if you live in an apartment, of course, you've got that intercom maybe, which is a good blockade, but there's somebody knocking on your door. I'd be looking out first to find out who's there. Do not let the narc in your house. Now, if the narc keeps showing up at your house, for God's sakes, call the bloody police. Get that narc out of there. Disconnect from any third party, anyone who could be part of a narcissistic triangulation, or anyone that you believe he could be manipulating into being a flying monkey. Get rid of these people that keep you connected to each other. You've got to sever all those ties. Now, if he's emailing you, before I blocked him on the email, I was just hitting delete, straight to trash. He's trash. Everything that comes out of his mouth is trash, straight to trash. Didn't even read the emails. He is blocked and has been now for some time. I would block him immediately. You do not want to be creeping their social media. I have never once even attempted to look at Captain Shithead's Facebook page or whatever else he's got going. Don't care. I don't care. Let him knock himself out, because I would bet that he is using that as some way to hurt me, probably posting photos of his new victim or whatever he's doing, right? I don't care. Don't look. Don't let that trash up in your life, okay? So that's really, really important too. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can go no contact. For me, it ultimately meant I left the area. I am a day drive away from that piece of shit. I don't want him within 1,000 miles of me, and that is where I draw the line. Now, when someone that I love treats me like that for 5 years, who absolutely with intent, with a dying desire to harm me, does that to me for 5 years, fuck you, buddy, you're cut. That's the end of that. I know what this is, and I'm not buying into it anymore. If you ever do come face to face with your narc, or whether the contact is direct or indirect, never say I love you, never say I miss you, never say I've been thinking about you. If you're feeling bad about the breakup, never let them know this. This puts them into a vampire-like, blood-sucking, feeding frenzy from hell. They love it, they love it. Why would you give them that? Never, never say I love you to your narc. Now, and if you are experiencing any pain, this is what they want. So never let them know that. Now, the other thing too is, many of us covered for our narcs, and for many, many years. I covered to people that had employed him. I covered for his bizarre behavior. I covered to his mother. I covered to his father. I covered for him and covered for him. Do not keep hiding the abuse. Stop it. Someone did this to you. Now, if someone broke into your house, would you have a problem saying that to a friend or a coworker? Stop the abuse by making the abuse known. You have no obligation to hide the horrible things that they've done. You've covered for them for long enough. And if somebody wants to stop and hear your story, for God's sakes, tell it. Now, no contact is the only way. You want your life back. You want to move on. You want your head clear of all this fucking mind lock of evil that you're stuck in, this obsessive mind lock of evil. Go no contact. Every time you hear their voice, it reopens a wound. Every time you engage with them again, it reopens a wound. It's never getting any better. And you guys know as well as I do, the abuse started small, and it started building and building. Now, 5 years of it, the level of abuse that I was suffering was pretty high, and that was the end. If you sincerely want the abuse to stop, that's what it has to do. It has to stop. Every time you open a line of communication, more abuse is coming in. And you have to realize, too, that the abuse has significantly gotten worse over the years. So it's just stop it or accept it. If you've decided that you're willing to accept a lifetime of horror and abuse, I mean, that's your option. But if you want it to stop, cut them off. Go no contact. Honest to God, it's the best thing I've ever done, and I promise you, it's a little weird at first, but you're going to be happy in the long run. Guys, thanks so much for watching Kim Wilson TV, and I hope today everybody makes a decision to go no contact. Okay.